Hello and welcome to NBA Talk with Jordan Valdez. First things first, we got today's matchups. And our first matchup is Marcin Gortat versus Zaza Pachulia. Marcin Gortat is a backup center for the Phoenix Suns. He was traded to the Phoenix Suns earlier this year from the Orlando Magic, where he was their backup center. Zaza Pachulia is the backup center slash forward for the Atlanta Hawks. He's very he pounds hard on the boards. He's a hard worker. He has good work ethic. He does a lot of things well for them. He can rebound for them. He can occasionally come off the bench and score pretty well down low in the post for them. Um, I'm going to give this matchup to Zaza Pachulia because I think that he does more for the Hawks than Marcin Gortat does for the Suns. The Suns have a lot of centers. They have Channing Frye, they have Marcin Gortat, they have Robin Lopez, and Marcin Gortat doesn't get as much playing time as like Robin Lopez and Channing Frye sometimes, so he doesn't get to contribute as much to the Suns as Zaza Pachulia does for the Hawks. Zaza Pachulia is pretty much the Hawks' seventh man. Obviously, Jamal Crawford's their sixth man. Zaza Pachulia is kind of their seventh man. So yeah, I'm gonna give this matchup to Zaza Pachulia. Our next matchup: Brandon Bass versus Derek Favors. Brandon Bass is the starting power forward for the Orlando Magic. He's mediocre. He's not a great player, but he can do a lot for that team. He helps them at the power forward position. He's basically filling in a role. On most teams, he would be coming off the bench, but on the Magic, he is not. Okay, so the Magic starting lineup is like this right now. At point guard, they have Jameer Nelson. At shooting guard, they have Jason Richardson. At small forward, they have Hedo Turkoglu. Power forward, they have Brandon Bass. And at center, obviously, they have Dwight Howard. But what I would do if I were Stan Van Gundy is I would keep Jameer Nelson at point guard. I would put Gilbert Arenas at shooting guard. I would put Jason Richardson at small forward. I would put Hedo Turkoglu at power forward, and would put Dwight at center. That just seems like a lineup that makes more sense because although Gilbert Arenas hasn't been playing nearly as well as he did in Washington for so many years, I still think he's a little bit better than Brandon Bass. So I would go with a slightly smaller lineup, but I would although you are actually putting a taller player at power forward. Hedo Turkoglu is 6'10", and Brandon Bass is only 6'8". But overall, that's a smaller lineup. So I would put a smaller lineup in just so that you have your best players starting still. So it's Brandon Bass versus Derek Favors. Derek Favors was drafted 2 years ago, I believe, by the New Jersey Nets. However, when the New Jersey Nets traded for Darren Williams, he was sent along with Devin Harris to the Utah Jazz. So now he's with Utah. He doesn't have a starting position. The starting power forward position right now by Utah is held by Paul Millsap, who had kind of a breakout year this year. But Derek Favors, he's coming off the bench for Utah, and I haven't seen much of him because Utah doesn't get televised that often, to be honest. But Derek Favors seems like one of the better rookies that came out of that draft, and I think he could eventually be a pretty valuable asset to a team. I'm gonna give this matchup to Brandon Bass just because he has a starting role and he has experience. So I'm gonna give it to Brandon Bass. Okay, let's talk NBA headline. The Spurs are rumored to be talking about a Tony Parker trade. Yes. They are thinking about either trading him to the Toronto Raptors and the Sacramento Kings, and what they're looking for is a high lottery pick, and possibly a player of less value than Tony Parker in exchange for Tony Parker. Thank you for watching NBA Talk with Jordan Valdez, and I will see you next time.